How do sports photographers use tracking autofocus effectively? Imagine trying to capture a soccer player kicking a ball at full speed or a swimmer diving into the pool. The secret to getting sharp images in these fast-moving moments lies in tracking autofocus. Sports photographers relying heavily on this feature to keep their subjects crisp and clear as they move unpredictably across the frame. To make the most of tracking autofocus, photographers usually set their cameras to continuous autofocus mode, often called YFC. This mode keeps adjusting focus as the subject moves, rather than locking it in one spot. It's perfect for sports, where players dart around and change direction suddenly. Next, they choose dynamic or zone autofocus area modes. Instead of focusing on just one point, these modes cover a cluster of focus points. This creates a larger target area, making it easier for the camera to follow the subject as it shifts across the scene. Dynamic modes automatically switch focus points within the zone to stay locked on the moving subject. Many sports photographers also use back button focus. This technique separates autofocus activation from the shutter button. They press the back button to lock focus on the subject and then continue tracking it without refocusing when they press the shutter. It gives better control and reduces focus mistakes during quick action. Adjusting the autofocus point placement is another key step. Photographers move the focus points to better frame the subject, especially when it's off-center. Cross-type focus points are especially helpful because they detect contrast both horizontally and vertically, providing more accurate focus. In predictable situations, some photographers preset manual focus at a specific distance. For example, if a skier always appears over the same hill, they set manual focus beforehand and use back button autofocus to time the shot perfectly. This avoids autofocus delays and helps capture the moment precisely. Practicing early and continuous autofocus tracking is vital. Starting focus before the subject enters the frame helps the camera lock on faster. Shooting in burst mode allows capturing multiple frames as the subject moves through the focus zone, increasing the chance of getting a sharp shot. Using the right exposure settings also plays a part. High shutter speeds freeze motion, so photographers often increase ISO to keep shutter speeds fast without underexposing. Adjusting aperture for more depth of field helps keep moving subjects in focus longer. Finally, adapting autofocus strategies based on the sport and environment is important. In crowded scenes or complex backgrounds, single-point autofocus might be better to avoid focus confusion. In open areas with erratic movement, dynamic tracking autofocus works best. Mastering tracking autofocus is a skill that separates professional sports photographers from amateurs. It takes understanding camera settings, customizing them for each event, and lots of practice. When done right, it allows capturing those split-second moments with clarity and sharpness, making sports media and broadcasting more exciting and visually striking.